To mark World Meningitis Day, I'm joined by Matt Dawson and his wife, Carolin. 2 years ago, their life was turned upside down when meningitis left their youngest boy, Sammy, critically ill. And they now want to ensure that other families don't go through a similar ordeal because it was hellish. I cannot begin to imagine what you went through and how tough that was. What happened to him? What sort of symptoms did you see or signs that there was something wrong?
Yeah, that's the slightly embarrassing bit on behalf of Carolin and I, really, because we didn't know what the signs were. We didn't know that if Sammy had cold hands and feet, even though he was really feverish, right. That's a little bit weird. I remember at the time just thinking, that's a little bit strange. But in my mind now, you know, the awareness that we're trying to get out there is that if you understand those signs and you pick them up, you know, do something about it immediately, because we didn't, and we got a little bit lucky, to be honest. Right? Well,
the thing is, it's as fast as you can get them treatment, isn't it? Because it's such it's a killer. I mean, that's the thing. It really is. I mean, your wee boy, what was he in a coma, an induced coma?
Yeah. Within.
Straight away, I think.
Yeah. Pretty much.
We went into hospital. Loads of doctors around us. I sort of zoned out of life a little bit. I was just in shock and didn't understand at all what was happening. And then they taped Sammy's eyes and said he's in a coma now, and I just couldn't believe it. I don't know how you get through that. It was so quick. Everything happened so quick. So,
and to see your little boy, you look at his little face there, to see him like that, I mean, it's just so heartbreaking, it really, really is. And you were told to say goodbye to him, weren't you, at some point?
Well, I think you don't really... Well, the way I coped was just zoning that possibility out a bit. So I was told that he might not come home, but I think it didn't cross my mind after that.
You try not to, but you know there is a chance.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
But you just kind of have to keep hoping, don't you? Now, you've got I know he's obviously got a big brother, and that's difficult because when your wee boy was in hospital, because he was in hospital for a couple of weeks, it's you out of your minds with worry. How do you protect your older son from that? Did you manage to get someone to look after him, or how? Because that must have been really difficult as well.
Yeah, we did a bit of shift work,
right?
And actually, it was good for us both to have another focus away from Sammy at hospital, and you focus in on what Alex was doing, and he was none the wiser, really.
No. But you'd be wondering what's going on, where's my wee brother, and why, why mum and dad, what's happening here? So it's that sort of reassurance, I guess. They're beautiful boys, they really are. But as you said, Sammy was one of the absolute lucky ones, because kids do die from this, sadly,
Yeah, listen, the reason why we're both with yourself here is, it's not complex. We're trying to promote the awareness around meningitis. We're not trying to raise any money or funds. I think on the back of what happened with Sammy, I was asked by Meningitis Now and Meningitis Research Foundation, GSK, myself, we got together, we got this campaign of Tackle Meningitis, because we know we slightly failed to a degree by not understanding those signs and symptoms, the cold hands and feet, the vomiting, the headaches. And as a parent, when your kid's really, really ill. And I mean, absolute credit to Carolin. I remember her saying just once, this is not right. Something is not right. We've got to deal with it.
It's that mother's instinct. I don't think you should ever ignore that.
Yeah, I'm usually, I had 2 home births. I mean, I never go to hospital, but there was a point when we saw it was the tiniest of spots on his tummy.
Right.
When I panicked, then it was a proper panic. And to be fair, we were still very lucky. And the decisions weren't made like that. I think the traffic looked better one way than the other, so we went to the right hospital, and things like that. We were very lucky in a way.
Some sliding door moments, for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we were so lucky. But
can you just treat him as normal now, or do you kind of wrap him up in cotton wool a wee bit? Are you a bit overprotective, or do you just?
No, I think when he does get ill, there's a sort of a film in my head. You were saying I freak out a little bit when he has got a tummy ache or so, because it sort of goes back to that moment. But I try not to.
Yeah.
I mean,
he looks all right doing his Bruno Mars impression there, doesn't he?
He's very good. And is he totally fine now? Is he absolutely fine? Gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's got a few scars on his wrists and ankles from the rash that obviously got really bad.
Right.
But they the people at Great Ormond Street and
Amazing.
Chelsea and Westminster and Cats and those, I mean, just absolutely incredible. So doing these types of things and trying to raise the awareness is the least we can do, to be honest.
Absolutely, but it's that thing of, you know, that we said, I mean, I'd call it a mother's instinct, to give me a father's instinct as well, of course, is just not to ignore that when you think there is definitely something wrong. My kid is not just a little bit not well.
Well,
you know?
and that's. I've done a campaign around the babies, around teenagers, because it's prevalent in those areas. But the mum, you know, it's mums, their fight against meningitis. It's the ones that the mums fear. It's the ones that Carolin feared the most. So that's where we're driving the traffic at the moment.
I think it's brilliant. Thank you both very much indeed. And what we'll do is if you want more information on meningitis, whether it's for the signs, the symptoms or guidelines, please visit our website, because there's loads of information in there. And don't ignore these signs that you said, the cold hands, the fever, the rash, the headaches, all of that. Because babies sometimes they can't tell you.
Exactly,
They just can't tell you, even little ones. Thank you very much indeed.